Hey everybody, it's your friend and your guy and your favorite potentially malicious host, Gardiner, the Linux gamer. The last video that I made had some really terrible comments left on it, and it has one of the worst like to dislike ratios of any video I've ever made. So I stopped reading the comments on Friday, and just so you know, when I make a video, I usually read every single comment for at least the first week of it being up. After that, I tend to not read them anymore. And one of the reasons I do that is because I like to foster an environment in the comments section on my channel that is reflective of the type of content that I like to make, okay? I like to make fun, silly, jovial videos. You know, I'm sure you guys have noticed that I'm more interested in having fun. I talk about video games, I talk about Linux, and there are sometimes topics that you cover that just really rub some people the wrong way. And the topic I talked about on Friday, the Epic versus Steam fiasco that's going on right now, really seemed to bug some folks. So, with that being said, I noticed that there were, what would you call it? There were some people who disagreed with the topic of my video, with the content, with the way it was produced, with my opinion. And you know, I'm not going to apologize for my opinion because I feel like, you know, I'm straight with you guys. I try to go right at the topic. And honestly, I say what I think on my channel, and I'm not afraid to say what I think. Obviously, I lost like 100 subscribers yesterday or Friday, and it doesn't really bother me that much. But what does bother me are a couple of the kinds of comments that I saw left on my previous video. And I wanted to respond to them head on because really that kind of stuff, it just doesn't fly as far as I'm concerned in my videos. So let's take a look at some comments, shall we? And now let me just say straight up that not everyone who left a comment was committing the cardinal sins of YouTube comments. You know, a lot of people were very respectful with their disagreements. So a lot of people agreed with me too. And I don't mind if you disagree with me, but relying on, you know, insults and ad hominem attacks and non sequiturs, or basic assumptions that are just wrong if you like have followed the channel and the type of content that I make. You know, what bothers me is when people are disrespectful. That's really what it boils down to. There were some people who said that the Epic versus Valve thing going on right now really doesn't make any difference to Linux users, and I couldn't disagree more. I think that as Linux users, what happens to Steam on Windows is going to affect us as Linux users. I think that's an irrefutable fact. I really do. And I'm not afraid to say that. The second kind of comment that I received was, "You're just being a hater," which, no, I'm not. You are capable as a rational human being of criticizing something that you care deeply about and still having that affection for whatever you're criticizing. It's very possible to do. And despite what the memes might tell you, you don't have to be a fanboy over everything. I really like Valve. I recognize and applaud them for the work they have done with Linux and Linux gaming. I mean, Proton is an incredible technology, and I know that it's based on Wine, and there are some people who take issue with that, but Proton is amazing, and I really believe that it's the future of Linux gaming, at least in the near term. But Valve have done a lot of things that have made me question whether they should be the sole vanguard of Linux gaming. And for the most part, I am a Valve fan. I really am. But when I criticize them, it's not coming from a place of hate. It's coming from a place of frustration and disappointment. So you don't have to hate something 100% in order to criticize it. You don't have to love something 100% if you consider yourself a fan. I am a huge fan of Star Trek, And yet there are many, many episodes of Star Trek, it's even in Deep Space Nine, which is my favorite Star Trek series of all time, that really don't belong and shouldn't be part of the canon as far as I'm concerned. It's the same thing with Valve. It really is. So the next type of comment that I got was, you're either stupid, disingenuous, or malicious. This is exactly the kind of content that does not have a place in civil discourse whatsoever, let alone in my comment section. This is the kind of comment that I'm not afraid to delete because it adds absolutely nothing substantive to the discussion around my comments. And I have, around my videos, and I have had many people tell me that my comment section is one of the better comment sections they've ever participated in. And it's because I'm not afraid to curate the discussion. People who are accusing me of being stupid, disingenuous, or malicious, sorry, you don't have a place in my comment section. And I'll tell you why too, because it's really important that people understand my opinion on this. If you're incapable of tolerating someone else's opinion, and you have to immediately jump to the conclusion that those people who disagree with you are either stupid, disingenuous, uneducated, insincere, or just saying things to get a rise out of people, then that is a sign, that should be a moment of pause and introspection for you. If your opinion is so weak that it can't handle the passive scrutiny of hearing a different opinion than your own, then you really should re-examine your own opinion, because that is a sign of insecurity, I would say. I can assure you that I don't say things in my videos just to get a rise out of people. I don't say things in my videos that I don't believe with sincerity either. And to be accused of that is, it hurts my feelings a little bit, because I feel like I have tried my hardest to foster a relationship between us, as parasocial as it might be, that you guys know that, like, I'm not going to say things just to be inflammatory or derogatory or hurtful or clickbaity. Now, in the 4 years that I've been doing my channel, I have only ever come up with the title first for the video and then written the video around the title maybe 4 times in the 4 years I've been doing my channel. I don't like doing that, but I also don't say things that I don't believe, even when I write a video like that. I come up with, I usually have the idea for a video. Usually it's just a premise. And sometimes I'm talking about the news, like I did with my last episode. And then I write down my thoughts. Only after I'm done filming my video and editing it do I actually give serious thought about the title of the video. And there have been people who accuse me of clickbait. And I wouldn't say that is the case. I am acutely aware of the titles that I give my videos. I usually bounce the titles that I have in mind for. I usually come up with 2 or 3 different titles for a video, and I'll bounce it off Raven or a couple other of my friends and say, "Is this clickbait?" You know, I'll show them the video. I'll say, "Do you think that this is a proper title for this video?" And as far as I'm concerned, clickbait is when you use a deliberately dishonest either thumbnail or title in order to get people to click on the video. If you say, if you have a picture of a woman with, cleavage showing, and then there is no woman with cleavage in your video, then that is clickbait. If you ask a question, then that is not clickbait as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, and the other thing is too, if I say something today that doesn't quite match up with something I've said like 6 months ago, a year ago, in all likelihood, my opinion might have changed, right? And that's okay. Opinions are constantly evolving. People grow all the time. And new information is always coming in, and I always try to reflect on my opinions. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. And I might have a few contradictory opinions here or there. And that's all right as well. Nobody has to be perfect. But I don't say things on my channel just for clicks. I don't say things on my channel to stoke the flames, to be inflammatory, to poke the bear. I really believe in civil discourse, and I need you guys to understand that, and to perhaps trust me that I'm not going to do that kind of thing. This is my favorite type of comment that I received. You're basically arguing in favor of censorship comment. No, I'm not. To conflate censorship with curation is positively insane to me. Here's a thought experiment. Let's pretend that I'm the curator of an art gallery that specializes in Renaissance era portraits, okay? So like Mona Lisa and things like that. Let's say that you're struggling as a graphic designer and you come into my art gallery and you have a logo that you have designed for a company, and you ask me, the curator of the art gallery, to hang the logo design that's not even from my company on the wall. No, I'm not going to do that. Not only would I not hang your art on the wall, I would be rather amused that you either didn't know what kind of art I specialized in as an art gallery, or that you didn't care that I specialized in a certain type of art, and you wanted me to hang a logo design on the wall that didn't match anything else in my gallery. I'm going to decline to hang your art on the wall, okay? And that would not be censorship by any stretch of the definition. That's not censorship, okay? That's curation. But let's go a little further with this thought experiment. What would happen if I did hang your logo design on the wall of my art gallery specializing in Renaissance era portraits? My reputation would be harmed, okay? As an art gallery, as a curator, all right? The art that I was supposed to feature on the walls in my gallery would also be harmed. My patrons, who expect the art gallery to conform to a certain standard, to have a threshold of quality, would also be harmed, and you and your design would also be harmed. There is no good reason to mix and match like that, and it's not censorship. The same would be true if you went to Target with a new product that you designed and they said, no, thank you. Companies can refuse to do business, and it's not censorship, all right? So I'm sure you're familiar with the company Stripe, right? They do payment processing on the internet. And I used to run a mobile virtual network operator, and I went with the company Shopify to host my storefront. Stripe and Shopify had a deal, and Stripe was the default payment processor for Shopify. But Stripe had a thing that said, you can't do prepaid wireless with our service. We just don't want to be part of that business. They were not censoring me as a mobile virtual network operator because they didn't want to do business with me. They made a decision that said there is potential for fraud in the prepaid wireless setup, and we just don't want any part of that. I wasn't being censored, not at the least, okay? I don't even think that like YouTube deleting videos from the website is censorship in many instances. Now, you do have a better argument because YouTube is like, anyone can upload videos and they can delete videos willy-nilly, but I really don't think that that's even censorship. All right, censorship is a pretty high bar in order for something to be censorship in my book. Sorry, that argument just doesn't hold water to me. The next type of comment that I got was, exclusives are anti-consumer. I disagree with this. If you think of yourself as a consumer, good job dehumanizing yourself, by the way. I guess the main argument that I was making with my video was that Epic and Valve are playing two different games. Valve is playing patty cake and Epic is playing rugby, all right? Someone's gonna get hurt and it's not the people playing rugby. The argument that was being made with this type of comment was that Epic won't win because they are anti-consumer, all right? The problem with that is that there are so many examples throughout the history of mankind where the inferior technology has won out against the better product. It's because people don't really care what is anti-consumer and what is whatever. That doesn't matter. What matters is who's offering the most convenient purchase, right? Or who's offering the exclusive availability of an item. That's the driver in our economic system. And to claim that Valve shouldn't have exclusives because it's anti-consumer, that's not the game that's being played anymore. It worked in a wide open playing field where there was only one contestant, all right? But it doesn't work like that anymore. I'm sorry. I am a pragmatist. I see what they're doing as I see what Epic's doing as strong business moves. That they are going after Valve. Marketing, smart business deals, and colluding with other publishers, that's the game that's being played now. And the last kind of comment that I got was that the Titanic is unsinkable. This is obviously not true. We have the Titanic went on its maiden voyage and sank, right? The fact is, Noah tried to warn people that a great flood was coming, but nobody listened. And the same rings true today with scientists telling everybody that the climate is changing and nothing real to affect that change is being done. Now, I'm not calling myself a scientist. I'm not a prophet or anything like that, but I feel like I'm seeing things that maybe other people aren't seeing. And I feel like I have the small platform that I do, and I want to make it known what I think, because sometimes I think you can avert a disaster by just listening to somebody else. The fact is, I love Linux gaming, and I think that Valve have been the chief champions of Linux gaming. What they have done for our community is amazing, and that's why I feel like what we're seeing between Epic and Valve has the potential to be disastrous for our little community. And I'm sorry if my opinion in my last video offended you, but I also am not going to soften my opinion for just because I'm worried that someone's going to get upset about it. I feel like I'm a straight shooter with you guys. I want you to know what is on my mind, because I respect you guys, and I think that you can tell when I'm not being genuine. And so if I were to like share my opinion and you know, have softened it in any way, you might, you know, pick up on that and be like, yeah, I don't trust you that much anymore. There were a couple other types of comments. Some people were saying that I was being too laughy or jokey for the subject matter of my previous video, and I'm sorry about that. Like, when I'm making these videos, I'm having fun most of the time. I'm a laughy, fun, jokey kind of guy. Always smiling, always having a good time. So for the most part anyway, not every day is perfect, right? But who I am on YouTube, I strive to be myself on the channel. And sometimes I do play a character, but most of the time I'm genuinely myself. And so yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for watching. I don't really know how to end this video, honestly. Yeah, if you believe in the work I do, you can support the show with a monthly contribution on Patreon, or you can, you know, share this video with your friends or hit that subscribe button, whatever you want to do. Thank you to my patrons for being awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.